How's it going, everybody? Brian Porter here from KW Realty in a slightly precarious location. Wanted to get a little fresh air and wanted to see how crazy I can get my hair with the wind by the end of this video. So I'm here with your report for April for the real estate market in Santa Clara County. So I'm gonna have my phone out a little bit today, so I apologize for that, but I got a lot of numbers I want to go over, and I want to make sure I don't get them incorrect. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna make the market update portion kind of short and sweet and to the point, because things haven't really changed all that much. And then I'm gonna have a little bit of a buyer tip at the end of this video. So if you're curious, what would it look like if you purchased a home in the absolute worst timing, with the absolute worst time? For instance, like back in, close to the end of 2007 before the real market crashed. And I want to let you know kind of what that looks like for people now and what it even looked like a few years after the fact. So stay tuned if you're thinking about buying a house. I know a lot of people have had that question. Hey, what if I buy and things drop immediately? So I want to share with you a little bit about why you may not need to be nearly as concerned about that as you may be. So as far as the market's concerned, it's still taking about 7 days to sell a home. And again, that's kind of not a really true number, because we could sell a home tomorrow, if we put it on the market today, sometimes the same day. However, we're setting offer due dates because of all of the offers that are coming in and all of the interest that we're getting. And so we're looking at all the offers at the same time. As far as what things are doing, home prices, it kind of looks like home prices. The median price increased by about 14% between February and March, which is an incredible number. However, if anyone tells you that that's the case, home prices really are 14% up in that month-over-month period, I would hesitate to really take too much stock in that, because if you look at the homes that hit the market, there was actually an exponentially higher number of homes, over $2.5 million, that were listed in that time frame, and so that's going to skew the results a little bit. In fact, the number of homes priced over $2.5 million increased by 123%, while the total sales for all prices increased by about 64%. So that's definitely going to kind of make the median look a bit higher than it actually would be. So keep that in mind. As far as months of inventory, we're about 0.8 months, 0.8 months. And so what that means is if we didn't have another house hit the market in the next 0.8 months, we would run out of inventory to sell people in a balanced market. That should be more like 3 months. As far as interest rates, those are headed up. As you've probably heard at this point, monetary policy is tightening. They're slowing down the money printing. They're increasing interest rates and expecting to increase those quite a few more times this year. We're already seeing that affect the interest rates that you're seeing right now. So as of April 6th was the last time I ran this number, so I apologize, it's been a few days. I don't think it's all that different at this point. 30-year fixed was 4.67. And so that is a significant increase. Interest rates are up about 50% from January 1st and up about 69% from the lows they hit over the summer of 2021. So that is a significant increase. So if you're thinking, hey, maybe I'll wait, well, yeah, like I always say, a 1% increase in interest rates could equate to about a 10% decrease in your buying power. And so that's something that you really need to look for, because you would need prices to come down about 10% in order for it to make it worth it to wait for every time interest rates increase by 1%. And we could see them increase by that easily over the next year. So keep that in mind. And the single family home in Santa Clara County is now at $1,915,000 as a median. So that's pretty incredible. So if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to call me anytime. And I just kind of want to jump into a little bit of a segment for you buyers out there. So if you're a seller or a homeowner that's not really looking to sell or buy, feel free to tune out. But if you know anybody that's looking to buy a house, you might want to stick around for just a moment. So what happens if you buy a house at the absolute worst time? Well, historically, if you hold on to a home for about 5 years, you're gonna end up selling it typically for more than what you bought it for, even in the case that there is a downturn in the market, a recession, anything like that. And so if you're thinking about holding on to a home for 5 to 10 years, go ahead and lock in the low interest rates that we have right now, because you're likely, if you're gonna hold the home for 5 to 10 years, gonna be in a much better position because of it. So for instance, October of 2007, that was probably the worst time to purchase a home. worst time in recent memory because obviously of what happened in 2008. Now, what I will say is we're not expecting to see a 2008 style recession. Yes, inflation's getting out of hand. Yes, I think there's probably a decent chance we'll see some level of recession in the next year to 2 years. However, we don't expect to see what we saw last time. The people that were purchasing homes last time could have said, hey, I make $3 million, and in reality, work as, work a part-time job somewhere. So they couldn't afford to buy the homes, but they got these crazy interest-only loans in order to just basically say, 3 years from now, it's gonna be worth so much more money, and I'll just sell it, and I'll get out of this crazy loan before the balloon payment and all that. That's not happening today. The people that are purchasing homes can actually afford those homes, and so that is a very, very big difference. So if we see a downturn in prices, which at some point we want to, because that's healthy, we really want to have those cooling off periods, we're not probably going to see anything like we saw that last time. So let's say you bought a home in October 2007. Kind of the worst possible time to buy a home in recent memory, like I said. And you were paying a median price at that point was $865,000. It took 6.5 years, a little less than 6.5 years for you to end up breaking even on that investment. And so, yes, that's more than the 5 years that I said. However, that's pretty much the worst kind of recession we've seen, since the Great Depression. And so the fact that it only took a year and a half longer than that typical 5-year span is pretty impressive. So let's see what happened after that. So, 12 months after that, after that 6.5 year period where you broke even, 12 months after that, you were up to $67,000 in equity. 12 months after that, you were up to $200,000 equity. 12 months after that, you're up to $265,000 in equity. Now let's fast forward through today. Let's say you bought a house in October 2007, arguably the worst time ever to buy a house. If you held on to that house, today it'd be worth $1,915,000. And so you would be about $1,050,000 in equity at this point. So that's just what you have gained based on the appreciation. Assuming you put down, let's say 20%, you probably owe around $460,000 at this point. So that means that if you were to sell your home, your equity is looking like about $1,455,000. And so if you bought a home at the worst possible time in 2007, you could literally buy almost an entire single family home in cash today. If you're looking at buying a house to live in for 5 to 10 years, let's lock in those low interest rates. I think that's a really good idea, not financial advice, but that's something that I would be looking to do. And in fact, I am looking at purchasing another primary residence that I will probably buy this year. So if you have any questions about it, give me a call anytime, buying, selling, investing, anything like that. I'd love to help. And my number is 408-813-6865. You can also get a hold of me at my email at brian.porter@kw.com. Until next time, take care. Have a good one. Bye.